Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2024 PUBG Mobile Global Championship Group Draw. It is that time of the year, and I'm your host, Jason Kappen, joined by the man who needs no introduction, but you know what? For any of you out there who don't know him, not many of you are there, who are you?
Curseman30. No, it's just Maxman. No, it's a very exciting time here, Jason. As we know, if you're a true PUBG Mobile Esports fan, PMGC is always the most exciting time of the year. And we're here to see who's going to be the group of death, which is always the most interesting part of these group draws. So exciting to see how it's going to go down.
Yeah, there's 48 teams. We're going to sort them into 3 different groups. So we'll get into that a little bit later on, because before that, we have to show you all something pretty awesome, pretty amazing. We get to see it every single year, and this year is going to be even better than the last. What do we have, Max?
Well, we've got 2 things to reveal, and one of them we're going to start off right now, because PUBG Mobile Esports already, there's a lot of things that are already fun about it, but one thing I'm always interested about when you go to the global events is checking out how's the trophy going to look like. Of course, we had a great trophy when it came to PMGO with the colors of the Brazilian flag. We had PMWC trophy over in Saudi Arabia, and this time around we do have a really sick trophy coming your way for this edition of PUBG Mobile Esports with the PUBG Mobile Global Championship 2024.
Such a tease to have that over the top.
Yeah, it's like you still can't see it. You have a bit of a tease now happening over here, and here is going to be your PMGC 2024 trophy. As you can see right here, includes some aspects of the PMGC 2024 logo, which I think is a first really, especially with the golden aspect. Well, aspect, it's entirely golden. It's not just an aspect at this point, Jason. And I gotta say, personally, Jason, this is the best PUBG Mobile Esports trophy we've ever had. So I'm very excited to see what your community thinks about this trophy.
I am proud of you though, Max, because you know what? In rehearsals, that trophy, well, let's just say we had to take some time to repair it.
We had to get some glue.
No, but obviously we're here for the group draw, right? And what this is about is we have 48 teams, 3 different groups, green, yellow, and red. But to avoid certain situations happening out there, because some regions, like SCA, has 11 teams qualified, we want to avoid having as many of those teams in one group as possible. So we're going to be taking a look at the team or the regions with the highest amount of teams, which is SCA with 11. And then we break it down into sub-regions. And from there, we will draw each team in that sub-region into groups. So we'll try to spread them out as much as we can, because you know what? I don't think, you know, SCA wants to play against 10 other teams in the same group. I don't think that's going to be very nice.
PMSL PMGC edition.
PMSL Global Championship. That's what it's going to become. So let's actually get things going, Max. We got our lovely supply drops here. There's a lot of them. I know you're hoping for an MG3 in one of them, but I'll tell you right now, Max, there's no MG3s.
I'm not going to get the best weapon in the game, unfortunately. But here we're going to kick things off with the 2024 PMSL Southeast Asia Indonesian teams, which there's quite a few of them. We'll have to see. But we're going to be having 4 teams from this region. And I'm looking at Alter Ego, Jason, seeing how that's going to go for them, which group are they going to get into. But here we go.
Better than their PMSL.
We don't talk about that.
15th place, Max?
Well, you don't have to bring them up every single time. But here we go. Our first team is going to be RRQ Ryu, going into Group Green. Good to see RRQ back in a global tournament, Jason. Feels good.
Yeah, I feel like it's been, what, since 2020, 2021 since we've seen them?
It's been a while.
Hopefully you won't curse them this time, though.
I won't talk when they're Miramar. That's what I'm going to do.
So this team's going to be going into Group Yellow, and it's going to be Bigatron Knights. Okay, so Zuxi coming back into the mix yet again for another PMGC. I would almost love to have like a graphic showing us how many times the players have been at PMGC. And I feel like Zuxi's got to be... I think he's been to every single one, if I'm not mistaken.
He's a reoccurring factor when it comes to PMGC, yeah, for sure.
But winning it is a different factor.
Alter Ego Ares going to go into Group Red. Very fitting with the color of their logo.
And very fitting for the blood that they're going to be ensuing in their group. Obviously, for everyone out there who didn't watch our watch parties of CSA, I like to bash on Max because Alter Ego is one of his favorite teams with one of his favorite players
of the region,
yeah. Rosemary, so.
Here we go for our last team from Indonesia. It is going to be Voin Donkey ID going into Group Green.
So that means we move on now into the next sub-region of SCA. And that is going to be Vietnam with 3 teams. You have D Xavier, you have Get Royale Esports, and you have Team Secret. Nice. I love how
I'm being careful. During rehearsal, I cracked a few by mistake, so I'm being just a little bit cautious.
Lost one across the room as well.
Here's our first team coming in from Vietnam, and it is going to be D Xavier.
Okay, so joining Bigatron Knights here in Group Yellow.
Yeah, with Levi's or Shadows now. He's always changing name. I don't know. It's hard to keep tabs of this player.
Yeah, so many different names in there. But they've looked really good in PMSL SCA.
Yes. Always making it to global events. So, like, you know that if you have a global event, Xavier are going to be a part of the equation. As our next team is going to be Getzo Roy Esports. Getzo wanted a part of PMGC. We'll just partner up.
I mean, who doesn't want a part of PMGC?
That's a fair point. And here's our last team from this region. Is then going to be Team Secret.
It's always good having Team Secret at global events. You want to know why?
Why? Tell me.
Because their social media manager is phenomenal.
He
they
is
have
good.
So many great memes coming out. Hopefully we'll have some good ones. Hopefully they'll make it into the Grand Finals, so we'll continue to see those.
Yep. Next region we're going to head into is going to be Thailand for PMSL SCA. Going to have only 2 teams.
So we got Vampire and we have FaZe Clan. I'm hoping it's Vampire to join Xavier and Bigatron. I've got the power. This group is looking stacked already. How's Vampire going to do, Max?
Trust.
Yeah. Okay, so that should fit. So you can like tweak it to fit properly.
But are they going to remain the group of death until the end? No, I mean, it's early to say there's a group of death. There you go. Yeah. Upside down. FaZe Clan is going to be in your next group.
Yeah, they're going to be over in Group Green. And that means we're going to be moving over now to 2 sub-regions. We have Malaysia and we have the 2024 PMCL, who both have 1 team each. So just for clarity's sake, we will obviously show you who's in there.
1 team.
And don't get cocky here, Max.
I will not. I will be very cautious. Yeah, here you go. 1 team from the region is going to be Alliance.
They looked good at PMWC in the group stage, at least.
That's true.
But when they got to the finals, they unfortunately kind of fell apart. But obviously, we had to see them last year as well at PMGC, so I have some hopes for them.
So be careful if you're with them in the league stage. But in the finals, it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. And for the last one here for the 2024 PMCL, it's going to be, of course, just 1 team. And it is Harami Bro.
It's tough to be a team that stands out in SCA. Honestly, with the heavy hitters we have constantly within the region, we're going to find out if they can do so. And hopefully for them, advance into the Grand Finals.
Yep.
And who do we have coming up now? Because that should be SCA done.
Yeah, we are done with SCA. Now we're going to be moving over to the EMEA region, starting things off with the MEA teams this time around.
This will be interesting because we have some good teams here. We got Twisted Minds, we got Brute Force, Nigma
Galaxy.
We have Na'Vi.
Interesting to see how it's going to go for Nigma Galaxy because they had a big roster change after many years of keeping the same team. So how is it going to work out in PMGC? We'll have to see. Here we go. It is going to be Na'Vi, aka Natus Vincere.
I think we got to restart because them not in Group Yellow is like a shame.
It's not
just
fitting.
To match the colors.
Yeah.
So Na'Vi is also joining your Group Red with Aries.
I don't like how this is going. Can we redo?
I don't know. I think Group Red is going to be the group of death at this rate.
Next team is going to be Brute Force. There you go. Some players that are going to be playing in PMGC here for the first time. So interested to see how that's going to be potentially panning out for them. Now for a team going into Group Yellow is going to be Twisted Minds. Which player are you looking at here for Twisted Minds, Jason?
I mean, of course you know it's going to be Rauf. Oops.
I was so confused for a second. Like, what?
I had to throw you off there.
Not saying Robs, by the way, is like, what? Come on. And for our last team from MEA, it is going to be Nigma Galaxy.
Obviously, with the, like I said, different roster coming in.
Yeah.
But good to see them re-qualify. You know, we got to see them last year in PMGC group stage as well. Not easy to do, and obviously with a big change of roster, a complete roster swap pretty much. Good to see them, but also, of course, good to see the boys of Twisted Minds get there.
It's good. Like, there was a lot of questions about how their roster was going to perform. Here, moving into the teams from Turkey region, we are going to be having 3 teams from here. And no S2G. You know, they're a little bit of a rough time since after they won PMGC 2 years ago. But we got some good players here that are going to be making it in. Z-Wolf, etc. Wrong side.
So why I look at them first
before
I show them, so I know they're the right side up. So Random Car is going to be getting in here. It happens, Max.
It's fine.
That's why we do it live.
At least I haven't thrown it across the room, you know, that's fine. For now.
Can you? I heard you can juggle. Can you?
I cannot juggle. I'm not even going to attempt to. But the next team that is going to be coming from Turkey is going to be Zeus Esports.
Which is weird to hear, because we're normally not expecting them to be a team from Turkey.
Yeah.
Expecting a Mongolian team, but
You're not from Mongolia and you're called Zeus. Is that allowed?
I mean, the fact is, like, for us, kind of some unknown names in there, so they have a chance to prove themselves on the global stage. It's going to be definitely a difficult journey, but a journey nonetheless.
Yeah. And for our last team from the Turkey region, it is going to be IWNRX with some very heavy hitters, especially going into PMWC. Had a bit of a rough time in the finals, but when it comes to fragging power, I think they can do really well going into PMGC.
Who do we got coming up next?
And now the last team from the European region is, well, region is going to be Europe. So very fitting for EMEA.
So we have what? Team Spirit, Virtus Pro, and 77 in here?
Yeah, I think Team Spirit, there was a lot of doubters after their performance at the start of the year. And now they're going to try and prove it. They got Matic on the team, right, Jason? Which now with the team that they already proved when they were back in HVVP or G Gladiators that they can do really well. It is going to be 77 or Dagestan 77 with Shifu.
That one got me because I was like, LL. I
was like, wait a minute, LL? Hopefully they don't take too many of those. But
who knows?
Yeah, Team Spirit. Is it Team Spirit, Jason? This one? Is it happening?
I'm not. I'm saving my juice for my picks.
For your picks?
When I'm doing them.
For our next team, it is going to be Team Spirit. Which I would say out of the European teams, one of the teams that we expect the most to do well, hopefully.
Well,
I think people are hoping the most.
They have the expectations, but PMWC showed something different.
For sure, exactly. And you go, the last team that was left over is going to be Virtus Pro with Icy on the team.
There's so many Icies.
There's too many Icies, man.
We need a North American Icy.
We need Icy number 1, Icy number 2.
All right, so that rounds up EMEA, which means we're going to be heading over to CSA.
Do you want to do it?
No, you're good. You're good.
I think I'm good.
Okay, get out of here.
I was like, wait.
You know, because I gotta protect my boy Doc, right? We're going in.
Give me my cue cards.
Those are my cue cards.
Those are my cue cards.
But if you want mine, feel free.
You can take them. It's fine.
Okay, you know, I can give you yours if you want.
I'll take them.
Jason is awesome. Aw, thanks, man.
I did write that. Yeah, he's right.
Okay. So we got a lot of balls here for this.
What region are we covering here then, Jason?
CSA, Central Asia.
Central Asia. Of course, CSA, we covered it, Jason, right, in the watch parties.
Yes, we did.
A lot of really strong teams.
Tell me when to stop.
Stop. Because that's 4MV. If that's correct, man, I'm looking awesome.
Wow, Max.
No.
You're wrong.
I'm wrong. Okay. There we go.
But I'm used to it. We got Stalwart Esports, who honestly had the biggest glow up from spring to fall. Probably due to the fact that they changed almost their entire roster. But the fact is, they performed extremely well the entire season, and considering we still had the hot drops out of them, and they were still able to come out into PMGC, was great to see.
I'm just happy they kept Chris on the team. I feel like he showed true potential going into spring. But here we go. Our next team is going to be Major Pride, heading into Group Yellow.
I think it's fair to say, Max, that if you guys didn't watch CSA, that was probably one of the biggest surprises to see
in the finals,
because they did not look good the entire year, especially in League Stage when it came to fall. But hey. All it takes is like 3-4 days of play, and you can get yourself into PMGC. Yep,
that's true. Our next team is going to be Incilio, going into Group Red. And Incilio, for those who don't know, is actually AOR that's been picked up by Incilio. So if you were a fan of AOR, now you are a fan of Incilio. That's pretty much it.
No, you nailed it. You nailed it. Is this going to be 4MV?
This is going to be... No, it's not now. It's not 4MV. Is it 4MV? No. I just can't get these right, but here we go. 4MV, the heavy hit off CSA region, right, Jason? They're the best team in the region. It's undeniable at this point. And they got your boy, my boy, Doc.
Yeah, my boy Doc, man. Which means we still have another big name team in here, though they didn't play like a big name team in the fall.
Which one are you talking about?
You know who I'm talking about. Your favorite team.
I don't know. We're not talking about Falcons Force. No, definitely not.
Nope, we're talking about Demorte right now. No, Demorte, a team who honestly kind of deserved it. They were really consistent in spring. They were very consistent in fall as well. Really happy, I think, to see them actually qualify in the PMGC.
That's true. I think Demorte really stand out when it comes to fragging potential. That makes a lot of their strategy and plays in these games possible. And if they can transition that successfully from that play style going into PMGC, I'm excited. You can reveal it.
So, I wanted to give them their moment because if they perform like they did at PMWC, then that moment's gonna be very short. So. But Falcons, man, obviously with the change-ups, right, coming in with East joining the team, we didn't really know what to expect out of them, and unfortunately at PMWC it didn't work out too well, but they did start to get into a bit of a groove. Yeah,
the start of PMSL CSA fall was a little bit of a rough start, but they did get into the rhythm of things by the end of that season, so I feel like they build that synergy now, and they're going to be looking good, hopefully heading into PMGC.
So Max,
who's next?
South Asia, which two teams coming in here. You know who's going to be one of them. Your boys DRS.
The Ghost of the Mountains.
The Ghost of the Mountains. I mean, to be fair, on Miramar, they definitely look like ghosts in the mountains. They look like more of the terror on the mountains.
Yeah, Sleepy
and
can hit the
DRS,
shots.
there we go.
Yeah, there we go. DRS going to be the next team, or the first team from this region.
Mini 14, man.
The Mini 14, man, I really want to see Sleepy just stand out. I don't know, I don't care if it's DRS or like any of the weapons you want to try and use for DRS, but he can do it so well with the Mini 14. So just give it to him.
I'm waiting for you to stop talking. So
yeah, I just want to get insight on teams. It's
Here
fine.
we go. Or esports.
Or esports. No hot drops.
I'm sad because that was some of the most entertaining player reactions I've ever had in PUBG Mobile when they would yell at each other for hot dropping and winning or losing. But that does move us into Pakistan. And of course, there should be only one team in here, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's going to be I8 Esports with Falak here. That's just what a standout in full season, man. Taking the MVP. Oh, not the MVP, the grenade.
We'll see if it's them.
I mean, there's not really too many options here, but the grenade master of full season 2024, taking it away from Doc. And here you go. It's going to be Asagi I8 Esports.
This is when they're like, you know what, we've had too much of them messing around. Let's just bring Steven back.
Yeah, I know why they did well. It's because they removed one of the logos. They had 3 logos in spring.
That's true. Like you said, Falak, big standout for the team. And honestly, great to see, too, because when Crypto was on the roster, he kind of became overshadowed by the star name of Crypto.
That's true.
But we do have to move on because we're heading over to Americas. We're heading over to Brazil. And I think this is going to be the really interesting one because we do have, of course, Alpha 7 finally getting themselves a global tournament trophy, even though they did slightly break it. And I think everyone is gunning them as to be the #1 team coming into PMGC.
Can they do it back-to-back, though? We'll see.
Is
2 global events back-to-back. No, it's not. I'm going to get it wrong. I don't know why.
How are you so bad at
Is it out? No, way.
It's Team Liquid.
Okay. Don't scare me like that. Here we go. Team Liquid is going to be your first team from Brazil.
You know what, Team Liquid, it was nice to see a team challenge the old guard of Alpha 7 being the top team in Brazil, in Americas. Obviously, they didn't beat him this time when it came to PMSL.
Thanks to the double point day.
They tried extra hard. Loops Esports
for the next team.
After leaving the scene for a little bit, coming back into it and getting into PMGC. Credit to them, man.
Yeah, going into Group Yellow alongside the BTR, D Xavier, Vampire, etc. Some pretty big names over in that group.
Think of a number 1 through 3.
2.
Okay.
This is like, well, you're just turning it anyways. That's not going to change anything.
Oh, we're saving. It seems like we're saving the top dog for last period, though. Again, another team that we talked about when they have the roster changes coming into this year.
The lowest placed team actually in PMSL from Brazil. So I think that they kind of need to go against expectations that people might have of them because you're going up against your Alpha 7s, your Team Liquids, like your Influence Rages also. It's going to be quite tough. So they need to stand out if they can for the Brazilian team.
Is it Alpha 7?
No, it's not.
It's not Alpha 7.
Yeah.
It is Influence Rage. I think what the saddest thing for me about them and their history is like I think they won like PMPL back to, or the regional that we kind of got rid of, the championship back to back, or like 3 times in a row. They weren't really able to transition that into like a global stage.
Can we bring back the championships and no more PMSL? It was good for us.
Alpha 7. There we go. The last team coming in from Brazil and the top dog. No one can argue against that.
Yeah, so Group Yellow is going to be having then 2 Brazilian teams in Loops Esports and Alpha 7. So, of course, the Brazilian teams, Jason, known to be very aggressive. So if you want to go up against them in that region, in that group, it's going to be quite tough. But who's next?
We have Latin America with 2 teams coming in.
Team Queso is going to be a part of it.
Yes, they are.
Yep.
I mean, Team Queso, we've been talking about them as long as basically PUBG Mobile's been out, so.
Quite rough since they did lose Ayala. I think that was one of the big losses.
The big cheese coming in.
Wait, the big cheese going into Group Red. That's where they're heading.
If only it was yellow.
Here you go, our final team here from LATAM America.
Vicious LATAM. They're going to have the toughest time, I think.
For sure.
Obviously, coming in here against the best teams in the world with not really any global experience, I think they are going to struggle the most. However, that also means there's not a lot of expectations on them, and they could potentially surprise some teams.
To be honest, Jason, after PMWC, anything could happen. Like, really, it can be all over the place in these global events. But now moving on to the North American team.
Wow, you remembered. The North American team.
There's only one.
There's only one.
It's going to be Inco.
Only need one.
Which is weird to say. Inco, North America. But, no. Who snuck that one in there?
Inco going to be coming in from North America here. The NA representatives. I mean, obviously a strong team dating back to some players like on Mizexis who played in North America as well for a long time. I think they could do okay, to be honest.
That's weird that you're saying that about an NA team, Jason. You're looking positive about NA? What is?
You're right. I'm kind of
like, wait a minute.
Myself now.
This isn't on brand for Jason. I'm a little bit surprised.
So we're moving over into the PEL teams. Now, one team obviously hasn't been decided just yet, so there will be one of these in here that's just kind of like a holder spot. And so we do have the qualification finally take place.
But we do have Thunder Talk, which we haven't really seen them outside of their region, so I'm very excited to see how the players are going to perform there. So it's Thunder Talk. That one is Thunder Talk Gaming.
You got the T right. TJB.
Oh, I got one letter. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Nong Tong Jabao is going to be
the
first
play
team.
At PMWC. Yeah. I think it was kind of a surprise that they actually placed lower than Tiamba in that event, but still TJB was able to show us like they could easily be any team from China could compete globally for sure.
Yeah, but you talk about Tiamba, right? And if they're the next team that's going to get picked here, maybe.
I was going to say that would be like
that would be great. I feel like a team that had some high expectations coming out from their region. But here we go. Thunder Talk is going to be our second team from the PL region. Yeah,
and again, as we like kind of talked about before we started doing this, it's nice to see that PEL always brings us new teams in these global events.
That's true.
Mean, obviously, it's nice to see TJB and Tianba, but to always see like the depth of teams they have and the level that they can compete globally is also really cool.
It's all new teams, all new players, like one or the other. You're always going to get new names out there.
Here we go. Like we said, there is one placeholder spot.
Yep.
So the team who qualifies will know the group they're going to be in at least.
Paraboy is going to try so hard, man. You just know he's going to
get there one way or another, whether it's talent or player. Let's be fair. Come on.
Like, didn't make it? Oh, well, I'm still going to travel.
Him and his posse walking into the talent room when we were there last year. You just knew he was coming.
Just starstruck. Oh, Paraboy, wait.
everyone went up to him. But of course, that leaves us with one last team from PEL. It's going to be Tiamba. And I know, like, Kalaris talked so highly of them, and we got to see why he talked so highly of them back at PMWC. A very strong contender, and the fact they're now back at a global event after playing at PMWC, I think they have a lot of potential, a lot of heat behind them.
Yeah, I think they have the IHC syndrome, which is a lot of eliminations, lacking a little bit on the placement point side of things, but no. Well, hopefully they can learn from their previous PMWC experience, right?
IHC syndrome, at least they, did better in their region.
Yeah, that's true.
Local stuff.
Which region are we heading into now?
Oh yeah, I should have told you that. I'm so sorry. We're heading to South Korea for PMPS.
Okay. So we do have DRX part of the mix.
We do.
Which also a big surprise towards the end of PMWC.
Are you going to get one of them right?
No. It is not DRX.
It's going to be D plus Kia.
I can't get anything, man. I don't know. I'm trying.
I think they were a surprising... I don't want to say letdown, because usually we see D plus Kia be like the top team from Korea, but to see DRX at PMWC outperform them was astonishing.
It was the D plus Kia era like 2 years ago, in my opinion. It's kind of changed ever since then.
Well, of course, that leaves us with one last team, and it's going to be your DRX.
DRX, here we go. Of course, some high expectations set after PMWC. Of course, it's not like a big game-winning strategy they played, but again, a lot of learnings taken from that mid-year tournament. So PMGC excited to see how that's going to work out.
These supply crates are getting very
I can see there's a huge pile.
They're about to tip over. So we're moving over to Japan, PMJL, the Japan League.
No reject.
Yeah, no reject. For now, they still have a chance to qualify. I think that would be probably one of the biggest upsets of the year to see them do so well, win PMGO, do so well at PMWC getting second, and then not make it into to PMGC. But we'll see. Obviously, have some other names we got to be talking about here. And we have a new name, Voltex, coming out.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, talking at PMWC to all the other talent, we always see the same teams coming from Japan. They were just kind of mixing up rosters, but it's always like the same players coming back. But it's good to see some new names.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see how they're going to perform in this tournament. But here we go. Our last team coming in from Japan. It is going to be
Osaka.
CAG Osaka. Kag Osaka, CAG Osaka. I prefer CAG. It sounds better. I say UMP. Do you say
I say
Okay, that's why. That makes sense.
But I don't say SKS.
SKS. Okay, that's fair. There we go. Now we're going to be heading into...
But I do say the not AWM.
Just going
to move both of them over here and make this easier.
Fine. But now we're going to go into the Korea versus Japan event. This is an undecided slot. I think we're all kind of looking at reject here, Jason, to try and qualify. I talked to their coach on Instagram, and he said that they're going to try so hard to qualify because we might have Radio Seal being able to get PMGO MVP title, PMWC MVP title, and maybe make it PMGC. So here you go. This will be your first place team from the Korea versus Japan tournament.
And of course, that does leave us with one I'm just going to leave this here for now because you know what? I don't need to have balls rolling out here in the middle of this. It's our special invite slot. If you guys haven't noticed over on social media, it has been announced who it's going to be. For the sake of continuity, I will pour it out, even though there's just one. And we all know who it already is at the moment. It's going to be your IHC who I think, not to talk negatively, but I think they have the biggest fall off. Actually, I don't know. We discussed on our watch party. It's talking about S2G, but for that, seeing them win PMGC and then underperform when it came to the regional play, it was very Vampire-esque. Funny enough.
Yeah, a massive fall off after winning PMGC 2023, right? So we'll see that.
I'm kidding.
I was like, what?
Yeah, no, man, the groups. Like, this is shaping up to be really interesting. At first glance, I'm trying to think who would be a group of death in this one. I mean, looking at yellow, you have, your D-Xavier, your Vampire, you've got Team Spirit in there, you got Twisted Minds, Alpha 7. Who are you looking at?
It seems quite even, to be honest, between all of this. Normally, we have one that stands out right away. I don't have it right now. I think I'm going to have to think about it in the back of my head for a bit, but I'm actually really happy with these groups.
Yeah, they're pretty balanced. I mean,
yeah,
they could definitely be more heavily stacked. I'm trying to look at your group with Alter Ego Aries.
Why is it my group?
I mean, because Alter Ego. I mean, you got Navi in there, which I don't know how they're going to do when it comes to a global stage. I know locally they've been able to play well, especially with Lemon on the team. Enigma Galaxy, again, getting to global is going to be tough. I8, I think, is going to be the really interesting one for me. I think that's probably the team I'm looking out for the most in Group Red.
Yeah.
Just because they've had such a 180 in their performance from spring to fall, with Phallic being able to step up like
That's
this.
true. I'm personally looking at Group Yellow a little bit here with Team Spirit. I think that after PMWC, we're like, what's happening with this team? Of course, there's the great addition of Matic, but they got a group that's looking pretty stacked, especially because you've got Alpha 7, you've got Loops, you've got the two Brazilian teams, right? So it is going to definitely be a very aggressive lobby. So Team Spirit, this is not going to be an easy finals qualification. They're going to have to fight for it a bit.
Yeah, well, speaking of fighting, Max, we do have one more announcement, and it's not going to be us doing a show match here live. It's actually about how you at home can potentially get yourself over to PMGC. How can they do that, Max?
Well, right now, if you do go and play Ultimate Royale, which is a great mode, I'm struggling a bit because everyone is so good. But the
you have bots to feed on.
No bots, so I'm struggling a bit. But if you are ranked first at the end of this season of Ultimate Royale, which ends on the 14th of November, you're going to be invited to head on over to London for the PMGC 2024 Grand Finals. So not only are you just getting a free trip to check out the Grand Finals of PMGC, but maybe you can get in contact with players, orgs, and that guy can maybe get involved in esports and actually become a pro player. That would be such a great story from #1 of Ultimate Royale to the next PMGC champion later on down the line. That would be huge.
Now. 2024 spectator, 2025 winner.
That would be a great storyline. I'd love that.
That'd be a great storyline. Well, obviously, we do have our groups now settled. I'm really excited to see what's going to happen, but Max, we still have to wait just a little bit, not too long, because on October 31st is when groups will be kicking off. We're not sure what group we'll be starting things off, so every team, you better be prepared, but it's going to be exciting. You're not going to want to miss it, and of course, it's the kickoff to the best event of the year, the PUBG Mobile Global Championship, and we'll see you on October 31st for some PUBG Mobile action.